Namaste and hello, welcome to Kettle and Travel. I'm your host Tarun and I'll take you on an amazing journey to a place where I've just completed my trip to and I have a lot of stories to brew around. Have you ever dreamt of a place where you want to visit which has it all that you can think of? Pristine white beaches, world class cities, melting pot of culture, food to just satiate your taste buds. Have you? If you have, then stop dreaming and start planning. We'll take you to the heart of Southeast Asia, the country that calls itself truly Asia, Malaysia. This vlog is going to be a travel guide which covers anything that you need to plan a trip to Malaysia, including how to reach, visas, currency, where to stay, what all to see, which cities to visit. But before proceeding further, obviously subscribe the channel, share it with your friends. Let's dive in into everything Malaysia. If you've been following this vlog, you already know that I was on a solo trip to Singapore and Malaysia in a bunch. I've recently completed it. This is going to cover the Malaysia part of it. The purpose of the trip was to get a diverse, varied experience, including the cultural part, the mega city, the island, and that's how I had planned my 8 days in Malaysia, which covered Penang for its cultural and food paradise, the island of Langkawi for all the water related, beach related activities, and then the bustling town of Kuala Lumpur for obvious reasons. Now I covered this in 8 days because I was solo. I could do early mornings and late nights both together. If you are with family or kids, or if you want to do it at a more relaxed pace, then 10 days is more ideal for this itinerary. Also, if you want to cover a couple of other places that we'll talk about, then obviously add a couple of days at the end of it. But there is no better way to describe this country other than its tagline of truly Asia. It's a melting pot of cultures from Chinese, Malay, Indian and whatnot. So you should absolutely plan a visit right now if you've not done one or are not thinking of one. Now, as for any international travel, we know logistics are the big concern, so let's take them out right away. First thing being visa. It's very easy for Malaysia. Malaysia offers an e-visa for Indian passport holders. You can apply on their official portal and you get one within a couple of days, so it's very easy. Temporarily Malaysia is offering visa free entry for Indians, and I was lucky enough to use that, so we didn't have to worry about visa on that trip. Staying connected in Malaysia is also relatively easy. Once you land in Kuala Lumpur, you will find kiosks at the airport itself from a number of operators including Celcom, DG, Maximus. So you can pick a SIM card from any one of them. About 20 to 30 should give you enough charge for a week. We actually took an eSIM well ahead of our trip, and why we prefer eSIMs is because it gives you that convenience. You can just download it on your phone ahead of your trip, and then you have a connection ready as soon as you land in the country. So next is the currency. So the currency followed by Malaysia is Malaysian ringgit, which is about roughly 20 rupees for 1 ringgit. There are enough foreign exchange services available around the country, in the market, obviously in the airport as well. What we recommend is obviously carrying some cash for your smaller needs and smaller shops. Otherwise, most of the big installments and your tourism places obviously accept cards, so carry a international credit card or a debit card. Now, how to get to Malaysia? Getting to Malaysia, especially from India, is a no-brainer. It's a very easy task. Most of the major Indian cities, including Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Kolkata, are well connected to Kuala Lumpur via multiple carriers. AirAsia obviously is a big name in Malaysia, which is a budget carrier, so you would obviously find enough flights out there. Ours was obviously a bit different because I was flying in from Singapore, so I flew in directly from Singapore to Penang. So reaching Penang and Langkawi are also options, including some of the connectivities from India. If you are looking for a different option, there is a bus route as well from Singapore. There are daily bus services that connect Kuala Lumpur and a couple of other places within Malaysia. The only thing to be aware of is sometimes these buses would take more time than what's advertised or published, so just keep that buffer in your schedule. If you are looking for a bus ride, it can be an economical way to reach Malaysia. The third route available is obviously the waterways. Langkawi is connected to Thailand via regular ferry, which takes about 2 or 3 hours. And that's an easy way to reach Langkawi as well. So there are enough options for you to reach Malaysia depending on where you are coming from and what's your destination before this and after this. Now, how to travel within Malaysia? Local domestic flights are the cheapest way to travel from one town to another. Air Asia obviously has a very wide coverage throughout and connects most of the important towns. Just be cautious of the fact that some of the Air Asia and other budget airlines don't include your checked in luggage as part of the advertised ticket fares. Malaysia also has a good transportation system in terms of railways. So ETS and other trains connect the entire country, apart from obviously Langkawi, which is connected through a ferry system to the mainland. Trains in Malaysia are very clean. They run mostly on time, have pantries on board so you could have your snacks. There are also bus services available for connecting most of the important cities. The buses are relatively comfortable and clean, so you should not have an issue. So overall it's pretty easy to travel from one town to another. Now within the cities is obviously a different thing, but it's again very easy. Obviously the most luxurious option is using the radio cabs or the local taxis. Grab is what works in most of the Southeast Asia, and that holds true here as well. So you can find a Grab, but they can be a bit pricier at times. What I think is your local transportation choices would depend from city to city. So if you are in Kuala Lumpur, obviously the public transportation is pretty good and you rely heavily on their MRTs, LRTs and metro trains. If you are in Langkawi, the best way is to get a self-driven car rental, because that's how you can explore the hidden gems of this island and travel at your own schedule. If you are in Penang, what we would recommend is using Grab for most of it, because the distances are shorter, so it would help you save time. And also the bus service in Penang, while it exists, it's not as systematic, so they would not stop at every bus stop. Every city would have a different way to navigate, and we've covered a lot of this in our individual vlogs for each of the cities that I visited, but broadly these are your 3 or 4 options and you can choose between them. Now next big question in a new country is where to stay, how to find accommodations. Luckily for Malaysia, finding an accommodation is not a difficult task. In about 100 to 150 ringgits you will find a decent accommodation, and if you are looking for a relatively better off upscale one, then about 250 ringgit should be more than enough, which turns out to be about 5000 Indian rupees. So you'll find something for every budget, every taste. In terms of where actually to look for an accommodation in terms of locations, in Penang we stayed in the Georgetown. It's the UNESCO site, so obviously it's the center of all touristy activities and everything that you will probably want to visit, so it makes sense to find a good accommodation in the Georgetown area itself. Most of the places of interest are walkable from the Georgetown area, so it obviously solves your local transportation headache as well. In Langkawi we identified a place near the Pataisanang beach. Ours was a budget guest house accommodation, which was relatively cheap, but it came with a great hospitality. A basic accommodation in terms of equipment, but the hospitality simply blew me over. Again, Pataisanang is the area which is the nerve center of the entire touristic activities in Langkawi. If you've got a little bit of extra budget, then you can look for a beach hotel or a beach resort kind of a facility. Westin has a great facility out there in Langkawi. In Kuala Lumpur, again you may want to choose your location based on what your purpose is. Some of the better locations are KL Central, KLCC area or Butik Buntang, depending on what you plan to do in the city. If you're planning to visit out of the city a couple of times, then Central is the best location because it's the hub of all the transportation activities. So if you want views of Twin Towers, the Petronas ones or the KL Towers from your hotel itself, then KLCC area probably makes more sense. On the other hand, if you want more of the party life, the touristic activities kind of scene, then Butik Buntang is the perfect area. So you can choose based on your preferences. What I did was I stayed for 2 nights in Central. Just across Central there was a hotel called Vestry, which was a basic budget room that I had taken up, but it was like pretty convenient, just cross the road and you are connected to the entire Malaysia in a jiffy. The other 2 nights we stayed in the KLCC area in something called Flora by Crossroads. My brother had joined me, so we chose a little upscale fancy place. But that's it. So accommodation would probably be an easy choice for most of the places in Malaysia. Now is the major question, the fun part of the trip. You are in the country, you are set with logistics, but you want to absorb the real Malaysia, you want to explore the entire country. So what are the best of the things that you would want to visit? Here is what we covered. We'll also try to tell you about a couple of other things that you can cover. Malaysia has so much to offer, so it's very difficult to cover the entire country in one trip, but what we focused on was the western side of the country. Our first stop was Penang. We landed directly from Singapore. It's the cultural capital of Malaysia. It's fooders paradise. Now, one of the things that you would definitely want to cover when you are in Penang is the Penang Hill. An amazing, exciting funicular ride takes you to the top. There is an habitat on the top which is like a walkway amidst nature. It's entirely a UNESCO site. There is also the highest observation deck for Penang in there, so you would want to cover that as well. Another thing that you want to cover in Penang is obviously exploring the entire Georgetown area, which takes you closer to the Chinese culture, the immigrant culture of Malaysia basically. So that's an amazing time exploring the entire Georgetown. The entire town of Georgetown is a UNESCO heritage site. You may want to try figuring out some of the murals. The one on the swing, the one with the boy on the bicycle are some of the famous ones. You would also want to go to the clan jetties because they show you the actual lives of locals. It's a live habitat society which allows tourists to come in. So you want to do that. You would also want to visit the modern part of Penang, which is the Gurney Plaza, Kartar Singh Drive and stuff, which have wide broad promenades developed along with parks, shopping malls, skyscrapers. So that's the upcoming part of Penang, so definitely spend some time out there. Kartar Singh Drive is a wonderful place to witness a sunrise, so definitely do take one early morning out there. Our next destination was Langkawi. As soon as you land in Langkawi, the vibes completely change. You are amidst nature, the laid back attitude, the island paradise completely blows you away. We had opted to take a rental, so we picked it up directly at the airport itself. The first thing that you would want to do in Langkawi is obviously the sky bridge. That's the most touristy part of it. One of the world's steepest cable car ride takes you to the sky bridge, which gives you amazing views of the entire island, so definitely include that in your itinerary. Another thing that you would obviously do is visit the Patay Sanang beach. It is the nerve center of all touristy activities out there in Langkawi. It is great for a sunset view. It is also great for the fire shows that happen. I have not seen such a widespread display of fire show at one place, so definitely do that. There are a number of duty free shops around Pantai Sanang beach. There is a lot of cafes around there, so it's an entire ecosystem in itself. So you'll obviously probably spend your entire elongated evening out there on Patay Sanang. Seven Wells waterfalls is another one thing that people definitely go to. It is a bit of a hike, but well worth it. 7 natural bowls will being filled by waterfall. The Trangla is a famous place for its big eagle statue. Eagle is obviously where Langkawi gets its name from. So there are 2 boat tours that happen in Langkawi, which generally at least we will recommend do one of them. So one is the island hopping tour, which takes you through 3 different islands. One is the lake of pregnant lady. Another point that it covers is the Eagle viewpoint, and the third point that it covers is more of a water sports beach. So do that. The other boating tour is the one that takes you through the dense mangrove forest. It takes you in the midst of wildlife. So it's an amazing tour. Both are about half day tours, but both mostly happen on similar times. So if you do not have enough days, you'll probably do just one of these. But one hidden gem that we would like to talk to you about is the Gunung Raya. I did that in one of my early mornings, but it's a place for peaceful, calm picnic, spend time with yourself or with your family out there. That's mostly about Langkawi. There are a couple of other points including Paradise 101 Islands, some cruise tours, so you could try exploring them as well. After Langkawi, our next destination was Kuala Lumpur, and Kuala Lumpur is completely different vibe. The vibrant part, the capital of Malaysia, comes with its own skyscrapers, the upmarket posh view. It's one of the mega cities of the world, so obviously you'll expect that from there. Some of the big things that you would want to do in Kuala Lumpur are Batu Caves and the Twin Towers. Twin Towers is obviously the face of Kuala Lumpur that you will definitely do. There is an amazing musical fountain show that happens in the evening, so cover that as well. The entire Twin Towers is obviously hosted within KLCC Surya Mall, so cover that mall as well. There are a number of other posh malls including the Barjatia Square that you may want to cover as well. Batu Caves on the other end is more cultural. These are Hindu temple caves. It's the most Instagrammable place that you would have seen. The rainbow stairs that take you to the top are very picturesque place to take photos at. There are a couple of other things that you would want to do. KL Tower is obviously the second most prominent part of Kuala Lumpur skyline, so you could go to the observation deck. It's also called Minara. Then you'll also probably want to go to Butik Buntang area just because of the party scene out there. Chinatown deserves some time as well because it's another scene of Kuala Lumpur that you want to witness. There are a couple of day tours as well that you do from Kuala Lumpur. We did one to Cameron Highlands and the Genting Highlands. These are amazing tours. Absolutely, you should at least try to do one. We did both because we couldn't choose between the two. Cameron Highlands is all about nature, lush green tea forests all around. It takes about 4 to 5 hours, so plan your day ahead, but it's an amazing time out there. Genting Highlands on the other hand is the entertainment hub, so it's got casinos, it's got shopping malls, it has got a lot of entertainment pieces for you, so you would want to spend at least half a day out there as well. There's another day tour that happens from Kuala Lumpur which takes you to Malacca, which is about a couple of hours from Kuala Lumpur. It's an amazing cultural place known for its Dutch and Portuguese architecture. It's got on cuisine in terms of food, so worth exploring if you've got time. If you've got a couple of extra days, try visiting Legoland, especially if you are with kids. It's built an entire theme park on the theme of Legos, so kids would definitely enjoy that. These are some of the things that you could cover from Kuala Lumpur. As we said, we covered the western part of the country, which is more developed and touristy. There's a completely eastern side to the country, which is more nature, wildlife, forests, geoparks. That's less touristy, so you need to plan and prepare better for that part. But for me, Kuala Lumpur was the last destination, so we bid goodbyes after that. But Malaysia offers a lot more, so don't be restricted with what we've covered in this vlog. But the idea was to just tell you something about the most touristy points that you would want to cover. Before we move towards the conclusion of the video, I wanted to run you with some of the key takeaways or learnings that I had. I've jotted it down, so hopefully I could cover it all. One is be adventurous with food. Obviously there's different tastes and different food cuisine in itself, but it's amazing if you want to try it out. Malaysia is a very cultural society, so obviously respect their beliefs. If you're visiting temples or mosques, do follow their traditions just as a mark of respect, if nothing else. Pack light. It's hot and humid throughout the year, so just your light cotton clothing helps. Obviously carry an umbrella or something because it can rain at any time. For your day trips, especially for Genting Highlands or the Cameron Highlands, plan it well. These are almost full day trips and you may want to maximize your time in these places, so plan your travel and everything ahead. That helps. Malaysia is visa free right now for Indians, but that could change, so make sure you are aware of the visa requirements. If you are traveling via bus, we would actually suggest have a visa ready so that you don't get any hiccups. Have all your documents in hard copy because sometimes some people could ask for it. In terms of money, do carry some cash. In terms of money, do obviously carry some cash because the smaller snacks and stuff would probably need the hard money, but most of the other places would accept your cards and digital currencies, so you can use them. One other thing that I wanted to call out was most of the internal and some of the international flights, especially on Air Asia, would quote you the ticket prices without a checked in luggage, so and that has created issues for a lot of folks once they reach the airport. So just make sure you are aware of the restrictions and get the ticket that you want, or add an add-on there itself, which is relatively cheaper than doing it at the airport. Malaysia truly exceeded our expectation. It has something for everything, whether you like beaches, culture, food, or mega cities, so you would definitely enjoy. It was a solo trip for me, so it came with its own unique experience, especially since it was coming after quite some time. You are on your own, so you have a bit more flexibility in terms of spending more time exploring things, but then being with family is obviously another thing altogether. So both have pros and cons. What do you think of Malaysia now? Is it on your travel bucket list already? If not, hopefully it would after you go through this vlog. If you've got any questions, obviously feel free to put in them in comments or reach out to us on social media. We are happy to respond, engage, and help you plan. We'll keep exploring and keep bringing you amazing content in terms of travel guides, first-hand experiences, and some of the knickknacks that you may need. But until our next vlog, keep sipping and keep traveling. Hope you have fun. Take care. Bye bye.